So today we're going to talk about something that for decades was just, well, it was defined by fear, HIV. But this isn't that story. This is a story of hope, and it's a story powered by some pretty incredible scientific progress. Let's get into it. Can you just imagine hearing a piece of news that makes your whole world just stop? For a man named Ollie, that was his reality. The night he found out he was HIV positive, these were the thoughts that hit him. Just this heavy, crushing weight of despair. So, we're going to follow Allie's journey here. And it's not just his personal story about confronting that fear. It's also the story of the science that makes a hopeful future not just possible, but, well, perfectly normal. All right, so first things first, to really get a handle on the hope, we have to understand the science. And look, there's a ton of confusion out there. So let's just start by clearing up one of the most fundamental points. What is the actual difference between HIV and AIDS?
It's a question you hear all the time. Are they the same thing? Are they different? And honestly, getting this right is the key to understanding everything else that follows. Okay, so here's the absolute bottom line. HIV is the virus. That's human immunodeficiency virus. AIDS, on the other hand, it's not a virus at all. It's a condition, or to be more specific, it's the most advanced stage of an untreated HIV infection. So you've got the cause, and then you've got a potential outcome. Totally different thing.
Let's break this down a bit more. HIV is the virus that actually attacks your immune system. It goes after the very cells that are supposed to defend your body. Now, AIDS is the condition that can happen after a long-term untreated attack from that virus, where the immune system gets severely damaged. And here's the most important point of all. With effective treatment, you can stop HIV from ever progressing to AIDS. So let's get crystal clear on this definition. AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is what happens when the immune system has been so weakened by HIV that it can't fight off other serious illnesses anymore, what doctors often call opportunistic infections. Now, this is a really critical medical turning point. Doctors can measure how healthy your immune system is by counting these specific cells called CD4 cells. Think of them as your immune system's generals. A healthy person usually has over 500. A diagnosis of AIDS is officially made when that count drops below 200. It's a clear, clinical line in the sand. Okay, so if HIV is the virus, how do you actually stop it in its tracks? Well, that's what we're jumping into next, how modern medicine lets people completely take back the controls. The absolute modern miracle in this whole story is antiretroviral therapy, or ART for short. Basically, these are medicines that stop the virus from making copies of itself. And what used to be this complex handful of pills has now, for so many people, boiled down to just a single tablet a day. One pill, that's what lets the immune system fight back and stay strong. Okay, listen up, because this right here, this is one of the most powerful, life-altering concepts in the world of HIV today. U equals U. It means when a person is on effective treatment, on that ART, the amount of virus in their blood drops so low that it becomes undetectable. And the science on this is rock solid. When the virus is undetectable, it is untransmittable. That means they cannot pass HIV on to their sexual partners. It's an absolute game changer. Now, of course, prevention and safety are still a huge deal. That means things like safe sexual practices, like using condoms, never, ever sharing needles. And for someone who has HIV, it means sticking to their treatment plan and getting regular tests to make sure that virus stays undetectable. And this protection, it extends into some really incredible areas. With that same treatment, ART, a mother who is HIV positive can go through pregnancy and give birth, and her baby can be born completely free of HIV. I mean, it is just an amazing testament to how far the science has come. And that brings us to what might be the most important part of this whole conversation. With the treatment figured out, what does life actually look like? Because this is where we have to take a sledgehammer to the myths that cause so much unnecessary pain and fear. So let's be crystal clear about this. You absolutely do not get HIV from a handshake or a hug. You don't get it from sharing a meal or using the same toilet seat. It is not transmitted through coughs or sneezes or even mosquito bites. HIV is a medical condition. It is not some kind of social curse that spreads through everyday contact. But even when you know all the facts, that fear, man, it can be a powerful thing. And that brings us right back to Allie. After his diagnosis, these were the lies that stigma whispered in his ear. That he was somehow less now, that he was different, that he needed to just disappear. But Ollie, he fought back against that voice.
He armed himself with the truth and reminded himself of something so simple but so profound. He was still alive. He was still capable. And above all else, he was still human. That internal battle is one so many people face, and winning it is every bit as important as the medical treatment.
And this is where you see this beautiful symmetry in his journey, right? The science, the art, that made his virus undetectable. But it was his own courage, his own self-acceptance, that made his spirit unbreakable. He just kept going. He worked, he laughed, he loved, and he started planning for his future, one step at a time. But, Ali's story didn't just end there, with his own healing. He took everything he went through and turned it into this powerful message for other people, really bringing his journey full circle. So this is the message he shares now. For people who are newly diagnosed, who are sitting in that exact same dark place he was once in, he tells them, look, don't let a piece of paper define who you are. HIV is something you manage. It is not who you are.
So look, if you take away just one single thing from all of this, please let it be this. Thanks to decades of research, HIV is a manageable medical condition, period. With the right information and consistent treatment, people with HIV live long, normal, healthy, and totally meaningful lives.
And we'll just end on this note. It's a message of support and solidarity. For anyone out there who's been affected by HIV, directly or indirectly, please remember this. You are not alone on this journey. You are not broken by a diagnosis. You are, and you always will be, completely whole.